everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So before we dive into today's episode, which is all things Bravo, we're talking about Mauricio and Kyle's divorce. It's getting weird, desperate, thirsty, and creepy. We are uncovering, and I cannot believe I did not find this out before, but if you didn't believe that Morgan and Kyle's relationship was fake, you are definitely going to believe it after this episode, okay? And then also Andy Cohen responds to Brandi Glanville's sexual misconduct lawsuit against him. He says it's a joke. She says it was harassment. We'll get into it. I'll share my thoughts. And Sandoval wanting $90,000 from Ariana before he moves out of the house. Who's in the wrong and who's in the right? So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And also don't forget to shop our Soft Girl collection. We have t-shirts, hoodies, joggers, all of it. So definitely click down below and check out our collection and treat yourself. So with that, let's go. So first up, Andy Cohen responds to Brandi Glanville's accusation of sexual harassment, saying, quote, she was in on the joke. So this is from The Hollywood Reporter. It says, Andy Cohen responded to Brandi Glanville's claim of sexual harassment, saying the Real Housewives star was in on the joke, but that he was sorry for the inappropriate situation. In a letter sent to NBC Universal, Warner Brothers, and Shed Media on Thursday, obtained by The Hollywood Reporter, Glanville's attorneys wrote that Cohen sent her a video in 2022 in which he appeared obviously inebriated. The letter explains that Cohen reportedly boasted that he wanted to sleep with another Bravo star while thinking about Glanville, inviting her to watch him engage in the sexual act over FaceTime. Mr. Cohen was Mrs. Glanville's boss at the time and exercised complete and total control over her career, the letter reads. This was an extraordinary abuse of power that left Miss Glanville feeling trapped and disgusted. In a statement posted to X, formerly known as Twitter, later on Thursday, Cohen wrote that the video in question shows Kate Chastain and I very clearly joking to Brandi. It was absolutely meant in jest, and Brandi's response clearly communicated she was in on the joke. Cohen finished his statement with an apology. That said, it was totally inappropriate, and I apologize. In the letter, Glanville's attorneys wrote that the incident is far from the first time Ms. Glanville has been used and abused by NBC, Bravo, Warner Brothers, and Shed Media. Indeed, Ms. Glanville has long been taken advantage of by the institutions with which she is indelibly tied personally, professionally, financially, and in the public mind. Her story, one of thousands we have heard in the course of our investigation into the practices of the reality television industry, is part and parcel for the reality reckoning. Representatives for Warner Brothers did not provide a comment to The Hollywood Reporter. NBC, Universal, and Shed Media did not immediately respond. All right. It says Glanville's accusations against Cohen come on the heels of a lawsuit filed against her by fellow Bravo star Caroline Manzo, who alleged that she was sexually abused and harassed by Glanville during the upcoming season of The Real Housewives Girls Ultimate Trip. The suit filed in January claims that Glanville kissed, groped, and grabbed and forcibly fondled Manzo's lady parts and breast, and Manzo alleged that the producers were listening to the interaction on audio, but never opened the door or took any other action to intervene and stop the SA. Okay, so that is basically the gist of what happened. Girl. Brandi, no. This is the thing, Brandi. And this is the problem, right? Because when people who honestly don't really care, like I don't think that Brandi cared. I don't think she was offended. I don't think she felt violated that Andy Cohen was sending her, this FaceTime video when he was with Kate Chastain, who either was or still is Brandi's good friend. They were really good friends on Trader season 1. They were also supposed to do the Peacock show together that Kate has. Kate now does it with Captain Lee or something because Brandi got in trouble with the whole Morocco thing. All of her Peacock, NBC, Bravo deals kind of went out the wayside with that. So she knows Kate. They're friends. And this is the problem that I have. when real people, and I'm not saying Brandy isn't a real person, but I don't think for 1 second she actually felt violated or harassed by Andy Cohen in any way, shape, and or form. But so when real people suffer from sexual harassment or, inappropriateness, or they feel coerced or uncomfortable at work, it makes it so much harder. It's like when we talk about anything where it's like real abuse going on, real racism or real homophobia or real ageism or real body shaming or anything that really real happens when these quote celebrities cry woof because they don't like the deal that they got. They don't like that they're no longer in favor. They don't like the fact that they're no longer on TV and cashing checks. Now, all of a sudden, she wants to act like she's sexually harassed by Andy Cohen. Brandy, knock it off. Knock it off. You had no problem with Andy as long as you were being cast and stuff. Knock it off. All the way off. But I'm going to tell you who is even the bigger, in my personal opinion, the bigger problematic entity in this situation. So once Brandy sued Andy Cohen via Andy Cohen, NBC, and Bravo for this whole sexual harassment thing with the FaceTime video, which to me is a bunch of nonsense and is disgusting because it dilutes from when real people have to fight these types of things. And it's like, well, why didn't you tell your boss no? Well, why didn't you leave? Well, you got a raise that year, so couldn't it be that bad? You know what I mean? It makes it harder for when real people deal with this crap to be believed and to come forward because of crap like this. But the real evil, the real villains is Bravo, NBC, Peacock, whatever the power is that be. Because if you guys noticed, I'm not going to say the content creators' names because that's not my place. I don't do that. I don't speak against other content creators. But I will say this. If you ever notice when there is a particular narrative that Bravo and Bravo favorites want to get out, you see the same exact platforms regurgitating the same exact narrative. And I don't know if they're paid by Bravo. I don't know if they get comped BravoCon tickets. I don't know. Not my business. I don't care. But what I did notice was that all of a sudden, these content creators who usually have a very in sync narrative when it comes to Bravo and their favorites started posting negative things about Brandy. Like, oh, Brandy, well, what happened when you slapped LVP? Oh, what if LVP would have pressed charges? What about when you threw wine on Eileen? What about blah, 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 blah? What about and you drinking in this? All of a sudden, it was this, in my personal opinion, very obvious Bravo PR push to malign Brandy. And the reason why I think that is so evil of them, it's because, well, then why did you keep hiring her? So now, because you want to dismiss her, you want to discredit her because she's suing you. Now, all of a sudden, you want to do this little PR push talking about how violent she is and how sexually inappropriate she is and how dangerous she is. But you knew this the entire time, but yet you kept hiring her. To me, that was the biggest takeaway of the whole situation. Because Andy Cohen is Andy Cohen. He's going to do what he's going to do. He has his favorites. He's going to drink. He's going to party. He's going to do whatever. Andy Cohen is going to do Andy. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's how executives should move. But Andy's going to do Andy. And Brandy was doing Brandy until Caroline sued and Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco had to be put on pause. And so then, therefore, Brandy got canceled and blackballed by the network. So now the only reason why Brandy is having such an issue with Andy is because her bag is gone. Not because she felt sexually harassed by Andy Cohen. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that, I'm not discrediting her feelings. I'm just saying what I personally think. But to me, the biggest gag is that now all of a sudden Bravo's trying to do this PR push of how horrible and violent Brandy is, but yet you continue to hired this woman year after year and project after project. She had projects coming up that got canceled because of everything that she did. So the real villain is Bravo and NBC and all those executives, because you knew this woman was problematic. You knew she had issues with drinking and pills and all that stuff. I'm not putting that on her. This is what she has said herself. You knew she had this stuff. You knew she had a history of being violent. You knew she had a history of being sexually inappropriate with herself and with others, but yet you continue to hire her. That's why she was even in the position to allegedly sexually assault Carolyn Manzo, because you hired her. So now you're telling on yourself and your slip is showing. And miss me with the PR campaign because it's so obvious. Just watch. When certain things happen at Bravo and certain favorites, you will see there will be a certain narrative that is put out there and that's pushed. So for me, that's kind of where I land on this, where it's super, super cringe. It's not that I have Andy Cohen's back. Brandy feels very like Nene to me in this situation. When you fall out of favor, when your bag is gone, then you want to sue. Then you want to talk about, discrimination and this, that, and the third, but you had no problem being a part of the problem as long as you benefited from the situation. So that's kind of where I land on that when it comes to them. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think, no, Brandy has the right to sue for sexual harassment? It's inappropriate to do that and all that stuff. And this stuff, unfortunately, doesn't just happen in entertainment industries. You have it in any industry. People talk about the office party. Somebody got wasted and did this and did that and sending all that stuff. Thankfully, now it's less because there's more repercussions for it and people are believed more. But it's bad. And Andy Cohen should not be treating his employees this way because he is in a position of power. So to me, two things can be true. Do I think Brandy felt violated? No. But do I think what Andy Cohen did was inappropriate? Yes. You see what I'm saying? And look what she did to Denise. Look how she did that. It's just miss me with this whole thing, Brandy. But to me, the most biggest telling part and Brandy's lawyers are the same lawyers that are Bethany Frankel's lawyers for the whole reality reckoning thing. So this is the same legal team that was suing Bravo and NBC and all of them back with the whole reality reckoning, let's get a union, Rachel and all that stuff. So this is that same legal team talking about that. But to me, the biggest telling thing was that, so Bravo, NBC executives, Peacock, you knew how violent this woman was and you still hired her. And now you want to malign her because she's no longer being your puppet, because she no longer can make you money. See what I'm saying? So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I think Brandy is also kind of like her own worst enemy. She's had a lot of opportunities and it is what it is. And then I also have a question for you guys. Where do you land when it comes to Brandy being like, well, no, in Morocco Ultimate Girls Trip, I just did what was expected of me. They expected me to be crazy and out of pocket. They expected me to drink too much and all of that. I was just doing my job. Or do you think, no, you crossed the line, you're an adult, stop it? I land on this. In a court of law, you can't go to the judge if you stole from someone, if you hurt someone, if you assaulted someone, if you did something crazy and say, judge, let me go because my boss told me to do it. That doesn't fly. You still did it and you still need to suffer the consequences of it. Now, there are a lot of theories going around about why Caroline really is suing, that kind of Brandy might be a little bit of a scapegoat, red herring for her. All of that stuff, I don't know. It's a little dark. I don't want to go that deep, but I want to know what you guys think. So put it down below. Where do you land with Andy versus Brandy? And before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So now let's move on to Kyle and Mauricio split. It's getting messy. It is getting messy, and Mauricio is spiraling. And it's really, to be honest with you, I feel bad for Mauricio. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I do. He looks like he is the one who is now going through it. He's lost a lot of weight. He's out here on TikTok and Instagram looking like a damn fool. It's just really bizarre. I do have the video of it, so I'll watch it, but let's get into some of the details, okay? So this is according to Reality Blurb. And it says, dun, dun, dun. Mauricio Umansky shared a very poignant message to those speculating about his life on his Instagram story over the weekend. As he remains estranged from wife Kyle Richards, Mauricio took to social media to share his thoughts, seemingly in regard to the rumors surrounding what led him and Kyle to split. As a new sneak peek of the Buying Beverly Hills Season 2 featured the two of them discussing their relationship and the impact his business has had on it. Here is what I have to say to all the tabloids and people speculating about my life, Mauricio wrote in the caption of his IG story, which featured a man's voice saying, "Just get your S and go. Just get your ish and go." As Mauricio attempted to silence the wanderers on Instagram, he was seen discussing the demise of his marriage in a preview clip for the upcoming second season of his Netflix reality show. I've been so stressed and the travel obviously affects, us, he admits to Kyle. Then during a scene with his daughters, Kyle explains, "We wanted to have this conversation when we were all together for obvious reasons. I'm really sorry, you guys." Mauricio also mentions his split from Kyle to a business partner, telling him she wanted the separation, as the man asked, "How will this affect the business?" As Mauricio shares, his real estate company, which has grown immensely in recent years, the agency is, quote, "a large family." And just like in every family, there's conflict, he states. Side note, I actually think this is going to help business. And I'll tell you why. Buying Beverly Hills Season 1 was flat. It was very bland. It was cute. I didn't see it for Netflix. I saw it more for like an MTV, to be honest with you. Let me know if you watched Buying Season 2. Kyle wasn't even in it the first season, other than like a quick 30-second FaceTime when Farrah got fake engaged. Poor Farrah. I think this will be good for business, at least when it comes to Season 2 of Buying Beverly Hills on Netflix. This is going to give it a major boost. I think people will be tuning in. People are going to be wanting to watch to see what he gives regarding him and Kyle's divorce and separation, because obviously Kyle gave nothing. And the thing with that is, you guys know how I feel about Kyle, but to be fair, because I do like to be objectively fair, Buying Beverly Hills Season 2 started filming after, or at least overlap with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13. So I think we're going to get a lot more meat and juice from what happened between Kyle and Mauricio on Buying Beverly Hills, simply due to timing. Simply due to when they are actually filming and all of that stuff, because everything is breaking and everything is coming to light. So I think that we're going to get a lot more simply due to the fact that they're still filming, At least they were filming last month or so. That whole Aspen stuff, Kyle said, was for the show. Anyway, also in the sneak peek, Sophia is seen crushing on the agency employee Adam as Alexia impresses their coworkers. "Who's the heir to the throne?" asked Brandon. "Last year I would have said Farrah. This year Alexia. She's really stepped up," Joey replies. They need to miss me with this Alexia stuff. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but Alexia cannot string together a sentence. Still, another employee fears the girls running the business would be business suicide for the agency. Wait, does this mean I'm calling Alexia boss? Ben thinks on or says or whatever. Now, this is the thing. Let's watch Oh, thank you so much, Norma, for the super sticker. So Norma says, Brandy leads with sexuality. I don't think Andy would send those types of jokes to other housewives. I feel he joked because she would laugh. Not cool. Sorry, I had to cough. I agree 100%. Unfortunately, I'm with Andy on this. I do think she was in on the joke. I think she has probably sent very inappropriate things to her coworkers and to Andy, who was her boss, and I do think that she wasn't offended by it. Not saying that what he did wasn't offensive, but I don't think she was particularly offended by it. So I agree with you, Norma. And thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's watch the little video of Mauricio, and then I'm going to get into my stance on him and everything he's posting. Okay?
Just get your shit and go. Just get your shit and go.
I mean, that was really sad, super pathetic, and weird and bizarre. Mauricio, I'm going to tell you what I told your wife, Kyle. And yes, I said wife, not estranged, your wife. Y'all need to stop with this whole, I want my privacy, and the tabloids can get their ish and go, and all of these online trolls. The reason why you have the agency, the reason why you guys have allegedly $100 million, the reason why you guys have multiple homes and properties and cars and generational wealth for your daughters and your daughters' children is because of us. Is because of the people you are now calling trolls. Is because of the tabloids that you guys have on speed dial and you call to set up your little fake paparazzi shoots. Like nobody believes the paparazzi just happen to know where you are. You call them. It's called backgrid. The reason why you have $100 million, the reason why you're opening 100 agencies this year and you want to be the biggest real estate, all that stuff, is because you sold us on your family. You have been on a show called The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for 13 seasons. And the reason why you have a net worth of 100 million or whatever they want to say around there is because of us. So, Mauricio, please shut up. Please shut up. Because you can't sit here and act like you would have the agency and you would be who you are today without that show. And that show is us. It's the viewers. And you sold us on, come into my family. Come into my family. Our blended family. We have Farah from the first marriage, and I have Kyle, and then we have, our other daughters, and we have all of our dogs, and we have our houses in Aspen. The reason why you have a show on Netflix called Buying Beverly Hills is because of us. You said it yourself. The agency is a family-run agency. You have sold us on being invited into your family. So the moment you want to act like we are trolls or the tabloids are coming after you and we need to take our stuff and go, well, I want my money back. I want refunds. I want my life back. All the hours I spent watching Beverly Hills, I want it back. All the money you made off of us through advertising and merchandise and BravoCon and the agency, I want it back. I will happily take my ish and go. Give me my cut. Give me my cut, because it's disrespectful as hell to act like you want your privacy now when you've built your entire empire off of us, off of our backs. Nobody said go on reality TV for 13 years and act like you have the perfect life. Nobody told you to do that, but it was a good way to make your money. It was a good way to make your business the agency. It was a good way to, get all this real estate you guys have, right? So I will happily take my ish and go. How much is my check? What's the cut? What is my percentage of the agency? I will happily take my ish and go. Just give me my check, Mauricio and Kyle. Because for the last 13 years, you guys have amassed millions upon millions upon millions of dollars because of us. And now you want to act like you want privacy and we're trolls and take your ish and go. Stop it. Stop it. And you're out here looking like you on Ozempic too, Mauricio. You taking the shots? You taking the shots? Because you look skinny in the face and you look sick and you out here looking like a damn fool on Instagram and TikTok. Somebody should have taken your phone and said, not today, Papa. Not today, Daddy. Stop. Mauricio, please have several seats because you're out here looking crazy. Out here looking crazy. Out here looking all the way crazy. So please stop it. Stop. But we're going to, and then 2 more stories. I'll get more into Buying Beverly Hills season 2 and also show you guys the trailer and the clips and all of that stuff. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about Mauricio out here looking like he's going through it? You know, when you see your friends post something on TikTok or Instagram and they're like crying and they're like, this is just a vulnerable to share. And you're like, girl, I wish you didn't. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's giving. It's like, Mauricio, you look like you're on Ozempic. You look like you're going through it. And how dare you? How dare you? I will happily take my ish and go. Give him my cut. Because that's the thing. It's like, and not just reality stars, but like celebrities and all that stuff. Now, this is the thing. Of course, every human being is allowed to have safety and privacy and boundaries. Duh, of course. What I'm talking about is you've created an entire multi-million-dollar empire based on saying that you are going to allow us into your life. But the moment the narrative doesn't fit your agenda, then all of a sudden, we're trolls and we need to take our stuff and you want the tabloids to stop. When number one, you call the tabloids on yourself. Like, honestly, if I was the people in the tabloids, I would like go dark. What would happen if the paparazzi stopped showing up at your photo ops? What would happen if Page 6, Reality Blurb, all of these people stopped talking about you? I bet you'd be on here real quick. Come back, please help us. We need you to like advertise and blah, blah, blah. Boy, bye. Mauricio, have several seats. I'm done with him. But I want to know what you guys think. You know, what do you think about Mauricio out here looking like he's going through it? He looks like he's aged about 10 years. He has Ozempic face. Honestly, I know I just read you for filth, Mauricio, but get some help. Get some help. Get therapy on your own. You know, don't get all skinny and gross. Be healthy. If you're going to divorce Kyle, just get the divorce over. If you're not, then stop playing in our faces. And stop talking to us, the public, the social media, the tabloids, like you didn't make all of your money based on us. Okay? Like you don't have a show on Netflix based on us. Okay? So get some help, Mo. But put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. But before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. All right. So our next story is going to be a bit of a pivot. And let's talk about Ariana and Tom Sandoval. Dun, 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 dun. So he is alleging that she owes him $90K. But before we get into that, what are you guys thinking about Vanderpump season? Are we on season 11 right now? 10 or 11, whatever season we're on. What are you guys thinking about it? I checked out. I stopped watching because it's too much of the same thing over and over and over again. Oh my God, Ariana's mad. Oh my God, is Tom Sandoval okay? Oh my God, Ariana's mad. oh my God, is Tom Sandoval okay? Like, I'm done. I'm tired of it. And like, I am not invested in any of them. And shout out to Dana. What is her name? It's like Talk with Dana or like Daily or Donna. I think her name is Daily Donna. If I'm mispronouncing her name, I apologize, but she's another content creator. Shout out to her, because I was listening to, I like caught a snippet and I was like, yes, this is what I'm saying. And she was like, this might be it for Vanderpump Rules, because like none of the characters are likable and we don't care about them. And I agree. And I said this before when I did Vanderpump Rules, the season premiere. I don't care about any of these people, not in a negative, mean way, but like, I don't care. Like Sheena Shea buys $2.5 million home, but yet her husband relinquishes all ownership. Why? Because is he about to file for bankruptcy and he doesn't want the court to be able to come after the house? Are they preparing for divorce? Is that why? She's like, you can't have your name on this property because when we divorce, it's mine and not yours. But at the end of the day, like, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Lala, I actually really like Lala, but like, I don't care. I think that she's actually right in a lot of the ways about Ariana, not in all of it, but she just comes across this season as very bitter. I don't think she's jealous. People are like, she's jealous of Ariana. No, she's not jealous of her. But I do think that she's very bitter about things that have happened in her own life, but I don't think she's jealous. To me, Ariana is insufferable. I really don't care what's going on with her. Absolutely insufferable. James, it's just, he's, just bopping around. Like, I don't really personally need to see that. I think James I would think James should do like TikTok and music and call it a freaking day. Like, that's where I think he's going to shine. Like, he needs to do TikTok lives and DJ and do his little DJing and his little quips here and there, because he is funny, but that's it. Like, I don't see where the show can go with this cast. Like, and Katie, I actually really like Katie, but again, I don't care. Who else is there? Tom Schwartz, he can just go all the way out with the trash too. Like, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. But let me know what you guys think, and are you guys watching? With that, let's dive into what's going on with Tom and Ariana. So this is according to Radar Online. It says Vanderpump Rules star Tom Sandoval is in a legal battle with his ex and reality TV co-star Ariana Madix as she looks to sell their shared home in Los Angeles. Tom claims to have lent Ariana a substantial amount of money, $90,000, which she has not repaid, leading to a dispute over the sale of the property they once called home, RadarOnline.com has learned. According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, Tom alleges that he provided a loan to Ariana and is now demanding repayment before any sale of the house takes place. He insists there is a lien on the property directly associated with the alleged loan, creating a hold on any sale until the financial matter is resolved. Ariana is currently suing Tom, asking a judge to order him to sell the 5-bedroom, 5.5 bathroom, 4,443 square foot house and divide the proceeds after their nasty breakup, where Tom cheated on her with another Vanderpump Rules co-star, Rachel. Ariana asked the court not to allow for a division in kind, which means one of them would be allowed to keep ownership while the other would sell their ownership to a third party. She requested they both be ordered to sell their interest in the pad at the same time. The ex-boyfriend has fought back against the suit and is reportedly digging his heel in even further, claiming she needs to settle up with him over this loan before selling the house. Oh, this is getting nasty. The former couple reportedly bought the place back in 2019 for around $2 million. And with the real estate price hikes in Los Angeles since then, it would be likely to sell for far more now. As RadarOnline.com previously reported, Tom offered to keep the house for himself, offering to buy out Ariana for $3.1 million. Look, it goes on a little bit, and I'll keep going. But listen, none of this math is mathing to me. I'm so confused. So if Tom is saying we bought the house for $2 million, Due to inflation, it's now worth I'm guessing 3.1. I'm going to buy you out of the entire house for 3.1 million. But you have to pay me 90K back. Like, none of this is making any sense. If Tom Sandoval had $3.1 million to give to Ariana to make her buy out the house, that doesn't make any sense, because that's even more than, that would be the price of the entire house if we're alleging that due to inflation, it went from 2 million to 3 million. Wouldn't half of that just be 1.5 million? Buy out her part? And the liens, didn't she have a tax lien in her name against the house? And then also with the comes to the house equity, wasn't he the one who took all the equity out of the house to fund Shorts and Sandy's and his little musical career, his restaurant and music? So my question is, the math just isn't mapping by any means. My question would be this: how much is the actual house worth today? That would be one number I'd want to know. And then my second number I would want to know is, what is the house actually worth to them if they were to sell it? Because it seems like there's a lot of equity that's been taken out. There's been liens. It seems like the house, even though the quote market value would be higher, but what they would actually net out would be low. Tom told Nick Viall on his podcast that Ariana hasn't paid a single bill for the home in 8 months. She hasn't paid the mortgage. She hasn't lived there in 2 or 3 months, he claimed. All her stuff's in the master bedroom. She comes and goes. Tom said that he feels the offer is more than fair, considering it is $1 million over what they paid for the home when they bought it 5 years ago. But don't you think Ariana is entitled to be petty? Viall questioned. And Tom said, yeah, and she's doing a good job of it. This is also my question that doesn't make any damn sense, because I'm on one right now. How is it that you still have a mortgage, but you have 3.1 million to give her to buy her out? If you had $3.1 million, why do you still have a mortgage on a home that when you bought it was only worth 2 mil? Again, nothing is making sense. Nothing is making sense. Like, I get that they would, and that's my question about, like, how much is the house actually worth to them? Because after everything is said and done, whatever tax liens they have, that has to be paid off. Whatever liens and equity they took out of the house, that'll have to be paid off. And then when it comes down to it, since he wants to keep it, he would have to pay her whatever her chunk is for her to, I don't know. To me, it just sounds like they have done a lot of weird, shady, not smart stuff with their money. Weird, shady, not smart stuff with their home and the equity in their home. It seems, and this should be a cautionary tale. If you're going to buy property, whether it's with your significant other, hell, whether it's with your husband or your wife, whether it's with a business partner, figure out everything up front when you are both on good terms and get everything in writing and have an ironclad contract. If there is a dissolution in the relationship, whether it's a business relationship, a friendship, situationship, marriage, this is exactly how we are going to divvy up the situation. This is who gets to stay. This is who gets to go. Now, this is a thing. Ariana is not my cup of tea. She's not. She's not. But I stand with her with not leaving the home. I stand with her with wanting to get what is hers rightfully, monetarily out of the house. To an extent. Because there comes a time where you need to prioritize your peace over your petty. So I do stand with her. If it actually, and again, I'm not a financial lawyer, so I'm not sure, So to me, yes, if staying in the house and fighting it means that at the end of the day, if it goes right, then yes, she's going to get what she is legally entitled to, whatever the money is, whatever the equity is, whatever the house is, and she's standing her ground because she's not about to be duped out of something, then yeah, I stand with that. Toes down 100%, because there comes a point where you're like, sure, I was down with this fake relationship for the show, but at the end of the day, this is my life and this is my money, and you ain't about to play me. So on that aspect, I stand with her. But if there is a way to get out of this situation where you're going to get what is due, but you might have to compromise on something, I would personally pick my peace over the petty. But that's only if I'm not completely screwing myself over in order to do so. But that's just me, though. Some people would just peace out. Some people would just take the L and be like, whatever, I would rather just take the L, whatever the case is. Now, when it comes to Tom, same exact thing when it comes to Tom, you know, if he's probably feeling like you were down with the okie doke. You knew our relationship wasn't real. You knew we were just doing it for cameras and show. Yes, I cheated on you and I shouldn't have, but you were down for it and you were with it. I don't want to lose out on this either. Like, I get it. To me, it's like they're using the house to fight over the way people who have children fight over the children just to get back at the other person. So I give the same response to Tom. Tom, you are talking about your mental health. You're talking about how you're not in a good place. Well, could you take the L? Because at the same time, like, why is it that it's Ariana being petty? It's her house too. Tom, you're also being petty because you too could bow out. You too could figure out a way to compromise. You too could leave. So for me, it just comes a point where where is the line where you're sacrificing your peace to be petty? And that goes for Tom too, because he could easily say, oh, Ariana, these are your conditions. Okay, well, let's figure out a way I'm going to get my money out of it. I'm going to get this and that, but you're going to get what you want too. Let's find a way to compromise. Because what it seems to me is that they're both being petty as hell. They both are using the house to hurt and manipulate each other. It's both of them. Because at the end of the day, just like that's why I rock more with Lala on this. Not when she's like, oh, Ariana should leave the house. It's like, Lala's hush up, girl. Not when it comes to that. But to be honest with you, they're not married and they don't have children. So both of them at this point are really being petty because they both want to win. Because again, I'm not a doctor, I don't diagnose, but they both have very narcissistic, self-absorbed tendencies. They show these narcissistic tendencies in different ways. It manifests in different ways. Same way Tom Schwartz is a narcissist, but his narcissism shows up in a very different way, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, I'm not diagnosing. They both want to win. But it comes a point in time where it's you winning is actually you losing. And it's not even that they want to win, it's that they don't want the other person to feel like they won. That's really more what it is. So I think for both of them, because the whole she's suing and he's suing and these tax liens and this loan and this mortgage and this, that, and a third, it seems like a hot mess. I would call up Sutton and be like, yo, girl, can I borrow one of your forensic accountants? Can they help me with this? I think that they need to just have somebody step in, go through all of their financial stuff, clean it up, and figure out the best way for both of them to get the most that they can and then let it go. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, 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 crazy. And I think that they're both petty, in my personal opinion. I think they both are. So I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Should he leave? Should she leave? Should they both leave? Sell the house, divide it up, and move on? What do you guys think? Put it down below. So before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now let's move on to Buying Beverly Hills Season 2 teaser, revealing Mauricio's daughters breaking down crying amid Kyle Richards' separation. So I do have 2 trailers from Buying Beverly Hills Season 2 that we will definitely watch. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and share while I pull it up for you. So let's go to the article first from Screen Rant, and then we will watch the 2 trailers, okay? So here it is. Buying Beverly Hills Season 2 picks up with some interpersonal drama as viewers get the opportunity to see things from Mauricio Umansky's perspective in a preview clip from the upcoming season. The show features the luxury real estate brokerage, The Agency, which is run by Mauricio. His daughters Farah and Alexia have been heavily featured on the show in the past, as both work for The Agency as well. While the series didn't delve into much personal drama between Mauricio and Kyle Richards last season, things are changing in the newest installment of the series. In a preview clip of Season 2, Mauricio tearfully sits down with Farah, Alexia, and Sophia to discuss their impending separation. "I had an amazing 26 years with your mom," Mauricio shares with his daughters around a table in their sprawling backyard. "I wanted to do everything possible to just save it. So, your mom came to me and talked to me, and she said, 'I think I need space.'" Kyle and Mauricio's daughters were all stunned into silence. Dun 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 dun. Continuing to share details of where his and Kyle's marriage stood, Mauricio shared, "The rules are that, you go out, you date, you do whatever it is that you want to do. I don't want you to be asking me what I'm doing, like we are separated," Mauricio explained. Mauricio explained he'd be taking some time for himself. "I need some time and a clear head," he shared. "Maybe I'll go spend a month in Aspen." The girls were understandably tearful and hurt. Now, this is important because this whole "I'm going to go spend a month in Aspen" foreshadows what we already know to be true. So remember that all of the stuff with Mauricio and the influencers and the young girls skiing in Aspen, that's what he's referring to now. Because remember, they filmed this months ago. So when he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go spend some months in Aspen," they're filming the show. And everyone was like, "Oh, Mauricio's out here with like champagne and influencers and skiing." All of that was for the show. And we called that over here at the Candy Cane. I was like, I don't think Mauricio, is he smashing? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not saying it's like a relationship where he's dating them. I said, this to me looks like a sponsored campaign. Turns out it was. It was for the show, okay? And then this is what he's foreshadowing. When he says, "Maybe I'll spend a month in Aspen," now we know what he was doing in Aspen. Dun, 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 dun. When Alexia and Sophia were having a hard time articulating their thoughts surrounding separation. Now, this might be mean, but whatever. Alexia and Sophia, they have a hard time speaking in general. Like, have you guys seen the show or see them? It's like, and I mean this seriously, not in a mean-spirited way. I'm being jokey and kinky, not in like in a real mean way. But what's her name? Alexia is 27, 28, but she skews like she's 14 or 15. And I don't mean in looks. I mean in like everything. Like, it's really weird. So it's really funny. They were saying having a hard time articulating their thoughts. If you've seen them talk, it's like, come out with it. And Alexia is like a mini Kyle. I mean, the way she talks, her cadence, she's basically, if you closed your eyes, you would think it was Kyle talking. It's bizarre. Anyway, Farah shared that having conversations like this is so weird, with Mauricio agreeing, "Our life has just changed so much." Sophia shared tearfully before Farah continued, "I definitely could not predict it where my life was going to be 1 year ago. I'm sorry we're all going through this," Alexia, who shares an incredibly close bond with Mauricio, explained. Sorry for all of us. Sorry for you guys," she said towards her sisters before turning to her father. "I'm sorry for you." Now, again, this is more foreshadowing. it's saying how Alexia has a particularly close bond with Mauricio. She does. They're very, very close. Of course, he loves little Portia, because she's like the baby, but he does have a very, very close relationship with Alexia. And we kind of see how he favors her even over Farah. And again, Alexia is about 27, 28. Farah, sorry if I say her name interchangeably. I apologize. She's about mid-30s, I want to say. And she's killing it and she's smart. But as we'll see in the previews, it's like, oh, is he going to give the company, not give the company, but like give the bigger position to Alexia, which to me would be disrespectful as hell to Farah. And it's like, is it because she's not your blood daughter? Is that why the favoritism is going on? Or is it because she called you out last season about the agency taking too much of a commission from the agents? So last season, Farah basically confirmed that the agency was taking too much money. And she was even considering either leaving for another agency or to start her own, because she felt very uncomfortable about how much work she was doing versus how much money she was taking home. And she didn't say that. It was also the bin guy and other people. And just in general, they were complaining that the agency was taking too much commission from them. So maybe that's why he's favoring Alexia, because it's his blood and his favorite. And she's not complaining she's not getting paid enough because she doesn't do anything and she's making all this money. Explaining the family only realized there were issues in Kyle and Mauricio's relationship a few months prior, the girls were understandably hurt by the idea of a separation between their parents. Kyle, who has only appeared on Buying Beverly Hills briefly, and by briefly, it was literally like a 30-second FaceTime call when Farah got fake engaged to Alex, because as we all know, that engagement is over because he was non-committal and allegedly cheating on her, has been dealing with the drama that stemmed from her marriage falling apart publicly, but Mauricio's been tackling it behind the scenes. In an emotional moment with his daughters, Mauricio was able to articulate his feelings and hold space for theirs, but the drama is likely just getting started when it comes to the Umanskis on Buying Beverly Hills. Again, there's the question of, does Kyle and Mauricio's marriage problem hurt his business? My answer is hell no. I think it only helps. I think the fact that they are going through this split and everything going on, people who normally would not have watched Buying Beverly Hills are going to flock to Buying Beverly Hills to see what Mauricio gives that Kyle didn't give. I think we're going to see a huge bump in viewership and a huge bump in ratings for season 2 of Buying Beverly Hills. We'll probably get a spike in Buying Beverly Hills season 1 just because people are going to want to go back and binge to get caught up. But I think season 2 is going to surpass, and it's going to really blow it out the park, because now there's so much pent up stuff. There's so many questions, and people want to know what happened and what is his perspective and all of this stuff. Is he cheating? Was she cheating? Is there a love child? What exactly happened? So I think it's going to give them a huge bump and boost. And then when it comes to the agency is going to be fine. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh no, agency, don't sell my house because Kyle and Mauricio are going through it. Like, I don't think that makes any sense. I think this type of scandal and this type of salaciousness is only going to help them, particularly because it's not like a Sandoval where people aren't necessarily truly identifying with Kyle as the victim, if that makes sense. So I think that's also a big reason why it's not going to hurt them. As Buying Beverly Hills season 2 draws closer, the Umansky family has been preparing for viewers to see their very personal drama unfold. While some of it has come to light on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Kyle, the other side of things have been left unturned. With Farah and Alexia both working at the agency along with Mauricio, the family business may be difficult to run with the family itself in turmoil. Thankfully, Buying Beverly Hills season 2 has watched every move and will be sharing the drama with viewers. Again, it goes back to what I was saying, where another big reason why I think we'll be I'm going to be watching Buying Beverly Hills season 2 because I want to see what unfolds. But again, a big reason why is cameras picked up for Buying Beverly Hills season 2 either partway through or after filming of season 13. So it's not that they were filming concurrently at the same time and we're seeing the same thing from a different angle. We're seeing aftermath. We're seeing, new stuff that happens. We see a skinnier Mauricio and all this other stuff. So we're seeing things closer to real time, and we're seeing the aftermath of season 13, because I don't think that they're done filming Buying Beverly Hills season 2 yet. I know we got the trailer drop, but I don't think they're done filming yet. If it is done, it would have just wrapped, because remember, they were still filming in Aspen, and we saw that a couple months ago. So but let's watch the 2 trailers.
Came and she wanted the separation. Obviously affects, the travel, obviously affects, us.
We wanted to have this conversation when we were all together for obvious reasons. I'm really sorry, you guys.
She wanted the separation.
How will this affect the business?
The agency being a large family, just like every family, there's conflict.
Sophia has a huge crush on Adam.
He was literally like, "You look amazing tonight." And I was like, "You know what I'm talking about? You're a liar."
Did I miss something? That we're not working together on this?
If you have a problem with me, you should pull me aside.
You iced me out.
When it comes to who's going to be the head of, I think that's me.
She literally said if you guys took over the agency, it would be business suicide.
Who's the heir to the throne?
Last year, I would have said Farrah. This year, Alexia, she's really stepped up.
Wait, so does this mean I'm calling Alexia boss?
The travel.
Yeah. Crazy. Like, that's what do you guys think about this? What do you think about, Alexia? Is she going to be, the heir to the throne, or should it be Farrah? What do you think about Mauricio coming out and saying Kyle wanted the separation? This was what she wanted. Now, Kyle was on Watch What Happens Live and being like, he said I encouraged him to go out, and that's not what I did, and blah, 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 blah. First of all, Kyle, he never said that you encouraged him to go out and date. He said that you said, I need space. We're separated. You can do you and I can do me. That's not encouragement. That's just setting what the boundaries are. With that being said, I do understand what you also said on Watch What Happens Live, that you said, well, I said that so that, if he goes out and dates, it will kind of be easier it'll be easier to deal with, because it's like, I'm the one who said it was okay. So I get that. Of course you don't want him to date, but you're like, I want to have some sense of control. So if I said it's okay for him to date and he dates, then I don't feel like it's cheating and I can buffer myself. I get that. But girl, he didn't say you encouraged him. He just said this is what you wanted. At the end of the day, do I think the separation between Kyle and Mauricio is real? I do. I think it started out as something else. I can't put my finger on it. And then it snowballed into where we're at. I think Kyle was going through it with the death of her friend Lorene. I think that the cheating allegations with Dorit, coupled with the cheating allegations from the past decade, coupled with, her maybe turning a particular age and not feeling seen, needing more time and attention and feeling like a priority, where maybe before she just sort of took it, and him just sort of being business as usual. I'm going to do what I want to do with my side pieces, allegedly, and I'm going to focus on this paper and expanding in my business, and you're going to come along for the ride with the kids the way you always have. Sort of like an identity, midlife crisis, trauma crisis going on. Do I think Kyle actually wants to get divorced from Mauricio? I don't. I think everything she was doing was for attention and to try to shake it up, to make him pay attention to her, to make him prioritize her. I think that he was willfully ignorant to the fact that she needed more from him in the marriage, because I think he chose to prioritize work over her. And I think he's willfully ignorant and willfully in denial about his confusion as to what went wrong, because he doesn't want to prioritize her. He wants things to be status quo. That's what I think is happening. Now, do I think Kyle and Morgan are real? Hell no. I've been saying that from day one. I don't think they're real. This whole, oh, it's official, loved up. This country singer, this is from Dumas. This country singer is set to premiere their relationship in a very public way. The loved up pair shot a highly coveted magazine cover, which will drop shortly and be a shock to many. First of all, how would it be a shock to anybody when this whole Kyle and Morgan are in a lesbian relationship? We've been talking about this for damn near 2 years. They were public February of 2022. We're in February of 2024. So how would this be a shock to anybody when we've been talking about Kyle and Morgan for 2 years? So knock it off, Dumas. Secondly, I don't think that this is real. I think this has always been a PR stunt. Always. And I'm going to again tell you why I think that. But before I do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Now, as we move on to our next story, look what I found out. I don't know how I missed this, but did you guys know that Morgan Wade's ex-boyfriend, because I'm guessing she's bi, and again, when I talk about sexuality, I'm not saying like it in a mean way. I'm just saying I just thought she was a lesbian. Doesn't matter, obviously. Love is love. I don't care if you like boys, girls, trans, yellow, purple, smurple. I don't care. So when we talk about that, it's from a place of love and inclusivity. But I always thought that Morgan was lesbian. But it turns out her ex-boyfriend is an agent at the agency. As we all know, Mauricio owns the agency. I don't know how I missed this, but this to me is just chef's kiss, where this is a whole PR relationship. Because number one, Morgan and this guy, Joe Link, they were together in a group called the Step Brothers or something like that, or the Stepfathers, something like that. They were in a group together and they started dating off and on, together, whatever the case is, boyfriend, girlfriend, right? All of a sudden, Morgan, when she wants to go solo, she hooks up with Kyle Richards. And then a year later, he joins Mauricio's, the agency based in DC. Am I the only one who finds that to be very suspicious? So this article, Morgan Wade's relationship behind the scenes of her personal life, was last updated June 18th of 2023. It says, about her romantic partner, Joe Link is reportedly Morgan Wade's boyfriend. He's a professional musician, in case you were wondering, and he excels at playing the keyboard and guitar. He joined the agency back in, let me see. Dun, dun, dun. May 10th of 2023. So within a couple of months, he's at the agency and they are together. So you want to tell me it's a coincidence that when Morgan, and let me put it this way, because I'm baffled by this, baffled. So let me gather myself. Because this is what I always said happened, and this kind of confirms it. I always said Kyle was going through it, the unfortunate death of her friend, her own midlife crisis, not feeling prioritized at home. She's going through it. She hears Morgan's music. She's enamored with her. I think all of that is true. I think she did reach out via DM. Just like Morgan said, she stalked me. I do think all of that happened. And I think that Morgan's team was like, yo, Kyle Richards, Paris Hilton's aunt, Kathy Hilton's sister, Bravo darling, NBC darling, this could be a great come up. That is where I think their entire, quote, friendship formed. Kyle needed attention. Kyle needed an escape. She was trying to get anybody's attention she could. Morgan and her team saw a come up. And think about it. Over the last 2 years, Morgan Wade has blown up thanks to her proximity to Kyle Richards. We now know who she is. She's doing tours with Alanis Morissette. You know, she's selling out concerts and merch and blowing up on Twitter and Instagram. I don't think Morgan Wade would be, quote, Morgan Wade if she had not done this deal with Kyle. She completely blew up. So you're going to tell me that all of a sudden, during that time, she's dating this guy, Joseph Link, who is a part of her band, the Step Brothers or whatever, the Step Brothers, whatever it's called. That band breaks up. And then Morgan then goes on to become this big solo artist. And then he just so happens a couple of months later, May, June, July of 2023, he just so happens to decide he now wants to be a real estate agent for the agency. Come on. Because also think about it. If Morgan's team managed her when she's like in this band, then they obviously manage and know Joe as well. And that's the thing. Like, is it a coincidence? We don't believe in coincidence. We believe in conspiracy. I don't think it's a coincidence that Morgan is all of a sudden Kyle Richards' little patsy girl, and her ex-boyfriend is now one of Mauricio's agents. Where they do that at? But then they want to tell us this whole situation wasn't fake and wasn't a setup. On what planet? And this is the thing. The agency isn't all that. There are so many other real estate agencies out there in the world to be a part of. But he just so happens to want to quit the band and become a real estate agent for the agency. That's him. Joe Link. And I will cite my sources. This was cited in Reality T. Exclusive, Morgan Wade's ex, Joseph Joe Link, works for Mauricio Umansky's The Agencies. It says, I'm not one for conspiracy theories. Well, I am. But the fact that Morgan Wade's ex-boyfriend, Joseph Joe Link, works for The Agency has me stunned. You know, the company that Mauricio Umansky is the founder and CEO of. In other words, baby gorgeous herself, I'm shaking, I'm physically shaking. There have been claims of Mauricio and his estranged wife, Kyle Richards, hyping up their marital problems to drum up promotion for their shows. Others think that they want headlines deflecting away from the lawsuits Mauricio is embroiled in. And of course, there was always those rumors of Mo cheating on his beloved Love Bean. Could it be they brought on Joseph on board to conspire with Morgan and help change the narrative? Isn't that crazy? Then it goes on to say, are Morgan and Joe still secretly together? After delving into online commentary, it's clear that a chunk of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans think Morgan and Joseph are still secretly dating. They believe their relationship is being hidden so that the rumored romance between Kyle and Morgan can continue to dominate the headlines. Despite being private about their love life in the past, Morgan had spoken publicly about her romance with Joe. That is my wonderful man, she says in the video above. When the two were a part of the same band, the Step Brothers. He broke up with me, so I wrote a song to get him back. It worked. It's been a few years now. I formed a band to get him back. That sounds like true love to me. Then it goes on to say, of course, I could be barking up the wrong tree entirely, but Morgan working her magic for an ex-flame to work under the man currently separated from her new bestie somehow seems more than outlandish than this conspiracy itself. Right? Come on. Come on. You cannot piss on my leg and tell me it's raining right now. You really can't. Because like I said, in this article, Morgan and Wade's relationship, this was updated June 2023. This is over a year after Kyle and Morgan become, quote, just friends, their whole friendship. And then in that same span, he joined the agency in May of 2023. So if these articles are correct, Kyle and Morgan got together in February of 2022, I believe. He joins the agency in May of 2023. The article says they're still together in June of 2023. And even though now it's saying X, I couldn't find anything about them breaking up. And he wiped his entire social media. This is his Joseph. This is all his social media now. It's only 4 posts. That's it, other than the agency stuff. So something is suspect here. Maybe they're secretly still together. Maybe they're not. But I'm not buying for 1 minute that Kyle and Morgan are organically in this relationship. And even if they were, why have they been lying to us for the last 2 years saying they're just friends? Just like Mauricio said, Kyle said, you can date and I can date. They've been separated. So if you've been separated, why lie about being just friends? See? And then we also have this chick, Katie Cannon. I want to know what her deal was. She was on some other reality show. She said she was dating Morgan in a private relationship with Morgan from November of 2021 to August of 2022. Now, I don't know what's going on with this chick, but she says she was with Morgan from November of 2021 to August of 2022. Who knows? I don't know if there's overlap between Joe and Katie. I don't know. Maybe it was on again, off again. But to me, the math ain't mathing, and they playing exactly LRG curves, and they're playing in our faces. Thank you so much, Miss Jules FL. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right. Miss Jules Safa. I hope I said it right. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. She says, I love your take on things. Good work, girl. Thank you. I really appreciate that, because I was working on, today, and I go, how did I miss the fact that her ex-boyfriend is now an agent at the agency? Oh, she goes, Florida, LOL. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jules, Florida. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your super sticker. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe in coincidence for a second. Of all of the businesses, of all of the agencies, he chooses to go into real estate for the agency. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. And now with the whole again, thank you so much, Miss Jules, Florida. I really appreciate you. And now with this whole, they're going to come out, it's official. I told you guys what I think is going on with this. I think that Kyle and Morgan tried to end their PR relationship contract. But because we have candy canes on the mission, they started to get backlash. And I think the fact that Morgan has new music coming out, and the fact that she's going to be on tour, I think with Alanis Morissette and all of that, and it's all sold out and people are loving Morgan and she had this big uptick. I think that her camp was fearful that any backlash with her, quote, breaking up with Kyle or fighting with Kyle would affect her music career. And so they quickly then were like, no, let's go back to them being together, because we don't want backlash right before Morgan is about to blow up even more. That's what I think happened. And so now we're getting these Dumas placements, which to me, I don't believe everything Dumas says. I think some of it is from people truly writing in. I also think some of them are industry plants. Whether Dumas is in on it or not, I don't know. But again, a lot of times you just have to always think about, who does this narrative serve? You know, everything's anonymous. Everything is just like, oh, this person, she could make it up herself and put it up there. We don't know. I'm not saying this is what she does, or he or they, whatever. I'm just saying that just because someone puts a blind item out there doesn't mean that blind item didn't come from those people's camps. The same way everyone's like, who leaked it to People magazine? Kyle and Mauricio leaked it to People magazine. Duh. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the source is, just like I said before, just always think, whose narrative does this serve? Does it make sense? And why is this being, quote, leaked now? You know? Ugh, you guys, I want to know what you guys think. I mean, this put the nail in a coffin with me, playing in our faces like Kyle. And I always said this, I don't see any sexual chemistry between Kyle and Morgan. The whole thing where Morgan is, touching Kyle's side of her butt at Watch What Happens Live. And Kyle kind of looks like, she kind of looks like, what's going on here? Morgan, stop cosplaying. You might be a singer, but you're not an actor. Okay, sweetheart? I don't buy it for a second. All of a sudden now Morgan is into PDA. When did that happen? I thought they were just friends. And I couldn't believe this chick from Beverly Hills was talking to me. What happened to that, Morgan? All of a sudden, you're into touching her butt on the red carpet? Get the hell out of here. Tell me your relationship is fake without telling me your relationship is fake. Get out of here. Anytime somebody's behavior changes in such an obvious way, something's up. Something's up. All of a sudden, Morgan's into PDA? Typically, Morgan is just like, Kyle stalked me, and she's looking like she's like swallowing bile because she looks like she wants to vomit. I have never seen what I personally perceive to be sexual chemistry or affection between them. I've seen moments of friendship. I have. But I've also seen moments of disdain. That's just how I read it. That's like not on Kyle's part, but on Morgan's part. Like, to me, Morgan looks like, when is his contract is up, smile and bear it, and she's kind of freaked out by Kyle. And to me, Kyle is kind of just like oblivious to the whole situation, like doesn't get it. That's what I see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking through the wrong glasses, but I don't see this love story between the two of them. I don't see this chemistry between the two. I see more chemistry between Dorit and Mauricio. Just put that out there for what it's worth. Okay. Well, that's all I got, guys. That's all I got. So as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, I'll drop the link in case anybody wants to come up for a little bit, and we can go through some of your Candy Canes questions and comments before we head on out. Because I am running behind, you guys.